to the Majestic View. Our goal is to inform and empower you to raise the bar in every aspect of your life. So go ahead and grab your popcorn, grab your wine, whatever you need to do, because we're going to sit back and relax, and we're going to talk about the things that you don't always get to talk about.
Yes, and tonight we're having an interesting conversation about what is a female woman pioneer. Not necessarily in the sense of the past where the women pioneers were pushing west and trying to find new land and carve out their lives, but now they're pushing the boundaries in entrepreneurship in a variety of fields. So it's going to be an interesting conversation about what it takes to be a female pioneer now.
Absolutely. And so both of us are young. We're young. So we're of that generation. We're kind of in the middle. It's pre-technology, it's during technology. And so I feel like I have a different top five. If we were to list like our top five kind of women that we admire that are really being pioneers and being innovative. So let's start with your top five. Who are your top five pioneer women?
Um, let's see, women who are entrepreneurs. That's a good one. Um, Probably they're people who may not yet be on the radar, but should be people to watch now as they grow. One is my friend and colleague. Her name is Aquania Gibbs. She is a financial expert, and she does um, property management. She does real estate. She does investing. She does all kinds of stuff. I'll try to get her link later on. I just did an interview about Devon Reeves, who is a huge entrepreneur in the hotel ownership and investing space and hospitality. um, I would say Ronnie Tyler. She's part of the whole Black and Married with Kids world and TSP, Traffic Sales and Profit world, which is a huge incubator basically for Black businesses and entrepreneurs. Others that are probably more mainstream, even though she's definitely not from my generation, but she's been everybody's person, is Oprah. Just her story is incredible, considering how her life started and all the hardships that she faced to become the most one of the most influential human beings in the world, let alone one of the most wealthy, and certainly through her entrepreneurial spirit. And then maybe my fifth would be like maybe like Shonda Rhimes or somebody like that too, even though she isn't not I would say she is an entrepreneur, but she's a businesswoman at the same time. Like she is a master of her craft, but she's carved her own lane and is highly successful because she decided to break the status quo. So off the top of my head, I'm sure there are many others, but those are some that I would list. What about you?
I love that. Yeah. And so I feel like I'm going to take an unbeaten pathway, and mainly because I'm still fresh off of attending a conference called Impact Weekend, where a few of these women were actually in that room. So the first name I'm going to mention, they're all entrepreneurs, by the way, Black women entrepreneurs. And the first woman I'm going to mention is Maya Elious, Elious. And so she's an entrepreneur predominantly in the personal branding space turned digital business coach, because at the conference she was just really so passionate about everything business. No matter what question I asked her, she had an answer, like rapid fire. So Maya Elias, and then her sister Maddie James. She's actually she's an entrepreneur as well, but she's more so about lifestyle and influencer, right? So those YouTube videos that you watch about what's the day in the life like of being a mom, of being a business owner, things of that sort. So I would definitely put her on the radar. Then there was actually Marshawn Evans Daniels. Maybe I feel like I'm naturally choosing a lot of personal branding because that's me. I'm that storyteller. But
Mhm.
Marshawn Evans Daniels, she had the book. Um, her brand started before the book came out, but most people may know her by the book called Believe Bigger. And she's really just passionate about personal branding and just kind of storytelling. She was blessed to become a mom of triplets at the age of 40.
Oh my gosh, that's
So
awesome.
yes, and so let's see. Number four is Rachel Rodgers with a D, Rodgers. So she's also the author of the book. You may know her, called "We Should All Be Millionaires." But she's been doing it for a while too. She's an entrepreneur, formerly a lawyer turned business. I think we can narrow it down to just business. But she's intentional about, bringing all the things that she learned from being a lawyer and just embracing her creativity and um, encouraging other women of how you can be a millionaire, no matter what that looks like for you, whether it is or is not monetary. And I think last but not least, Nicole Walters. Nicole
Mm.
Walters. she is predominantly like a money coach in a way. So she's still business, it's still personal branding, and you may know of her brand or her name through Inherit, either her company Inherit or her wildly successful program called 1K One Day, where she kind of helped entrepreneurs to earn 1K in one day. So, but she's also Nicole Walter is also like a huge fan of Oprah Winfrey. So if you check out her Instagram, she'll occasionally have like, oh look, Oprah and I are matching outfits today.
I love
So
that.
that's fun. That's fun. Being able to where they will make money, make impact, and still make you laugh. So yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely. Those are some great examples. And I love that they're all kind of in their own lanes too. A lot with, personal brand strategy and influence, but beyond that. And I definitely feel like that's a space that continues to evolve and change, but there's so many opportunities there. So I don't feel like it's one of these fields that get saturated. I kind of feel like you can just find your niche or find your own lane and you can really make it. You find ways to monetize your thing and you can make money fast or make 1K in a day or more.
Absolutely. And you know what just coming up for me is I was thinking about Rachel Rogers and she shared this in her book, but one of the then pioneers of the past that she really, really admired the work of was Madam C.J. Walker, right?
Hmm.
That's a whole nother niche. That's beauty. That's the beauty industry,
Hmm.
right? And how she, created the seat at her own table and then created a seat for other women to have a seat at her table, which then became franchises, which then became products, which then became workshops, and so I think that leads to really the next question of what is the kind of similarity between pioneering women then and now? What do you think is that one similar thread? I feel like for me, it's that being able to create a seat at your own table and bringing women with you.
I agree. And I also think for me, like the one common thread between the pioneering women of then and now is vision. They just see their path. They see something that they can do uniquely that is something that other people need, but only they can, bring it forth. And that I think has never changed because I feel like at the base of all of whatever entrepreneurial endeavor we decide to undertake, it starts with a vision. It starts with an idea, a seed that gets planted. And I think the women of the past, the Madam C.J. Walkers of the world, to the Oprahs of today, it all starts with a vision. They see a need, they fill a need. They see something that's lacking, they provide for it. They see something that we don't need any more of, they provide an alternative. So it starts with the vision.
And I want to add a unique take because I know that both of us are world travelers, and
Hmm.
so
Yes.
I kind of want to ask the question of what really defines a pioneer woman, right? Like we can go to any West African country, and if we say the name Oprah Winfrey, they're Oprah Winfrey.
Exactly.
So
It's
what
true.
defines a pioneer woman, and that what do you think could catapult her to be internationally known?
I mean, so many things. I mean, using Oprah as an example, I mean, even though I feel like she's kind of an outlier, because she's still the one that a lot of us aspire to be like in terms of the success that she's had and other things too. But I feel like what makes her stand out and get the kind of recognition that she gets is that she's so passionate about what she does. And she is one of the few entrepreneurs that I've seen who continues to reach back as she climbs. Just like you said with Madam CJ Walker, initially starting at somebody's table, but then creating her own table and then bringing other sisters to that table so that they could find a path to strike out on their own. I think Oprah does the same thing, and not only in her attempts to provide opportunities for entrepreneurs to be, but also just in her altruism and like some of the charitable works that she does. All the schools that she's invested in. I just think it's sort of having this community mindset. Like, I'm not only going to forge this path for myself to fulfill this need or something that I can do, but I'm going to bring the community with me. I feel
Absolutely.
like that resonates because people genuinely sense her sincerity and her passion, and that it's a true thing and not just a marketing tactic to win people's favor and then just take their money.
And I think keyword was community that rung a bell like ding 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 because really if it wasn't for the community telling others in their community about the specific woman and what the specific woman is up to and creating both professionally and personally, I don't think we would know about. about it. I think both of us, we also are a part of multiple communities. That's how before we even got here to the Majestic View, it was because of
Exactly.
other communities of like, hey, join the community, or hey, this door is open for you to come in and be a part of. And so I think community is also important of like, how do you know which community to join? Because sometimes that's also the other side of, you know,
Mhm.
women pioneers where there were some doors that would get slammed right in their face, and some communities that would be like, and stop right there.
Mhm. Exactly.
So how would you think these pioneer women really kind of handled that?
For me, it was also, the big word of the day right now is resilience, and feeling resilient. But I feel like it's the most apropos word because I feel like, especially for pioneer women of the past, where the opportunities were even less, and they were dealing with, carrying or overcoming obstacles of race and gender, at a time when, it was much more difficult to break out of traditional roles. I think that going back to my point about resilience and just strength and doing whatever it took to see their vision and make it come to life allowed them to withstand all of the rejection, the hardships, and setbacks that they probably experienced along their path to allow them to succeed. They had to have that fire, they had to have that drive and that passion. And I think that continues today because, I mean, I don't have to tell you as a fellow entrepreneur, it is a hard path. It is nonstop. It is constant work. So you have to have the strength and the desire and the resilience to see it through. It's one thing to have a vision, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't execute it and make your vision come to life. So it's just having that drive and just that fortitude to continue to stand up each time you fail, stand up each time you have a rejection or a door slammed in your face, to keep, pursuing your goal.
Absolutely. And so I think with with here we're right through at the middle end of the mark. So I think now is a great segue to just kind of reminding that we are the Majestic View, and with the Majestic View, we kind of meet as often as possible. The goal is to also share and bring that platform together. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a woman? Do you want to talk about finance, lifestyle, travel? No matter what it is that you want to talk about, we want to hear from you, and we want to give you that platform to share your story. So be sure to check out our previous conversation on YouTube, but at Majestic View Show, or send us an email if you know you already want to be a guest. So send us an email at themajesticviewshow@gmail.com to be featured as a guest, and you'll get an email back that kind of tells you really to how to send your bio, how to send your headshot, and even send your specific topic that you want to talk about. So yes, so I think moving right along, what else do you think is important when it comes to acknowledging women, not just in Women's History Month at the time that's when this is being, recorded, but how can women be acknowledged all year long?
I think that's a good question because I feel like these special months are kind of a double-edged sword. Like we have Black History Month, we have Women's History Month, so it's a good opportunity to highlight the successes of people in the African American community or the Black diasporan community in February and women in March. But I kind of feel like these stories and these accomplishments and these people need to get that shine all year round. It shouldn't just be like limited to that one month. So I think one way that we do it is exactly as you just said, giving each other space, giving each other a platform, inviting one another into each other's communities. As you said, this whole show, Majestic View, came together because it was like a mixture of communities coming together, women in communications, women in travel. I met you through travel, and then we were also in communications, and the rest is history. We kind of opened the door for each other. Some of the guests we've had on this show, they came in through communities. We had a financial expert speak to us about building financial wealth and generational wealth. And she's a friend of mine from college, and she's in my sorority. So just, I think it's holding space for one another, creating opportunities for one another, working with each other. I mean, I don't have to tell you that you miss Oklahoma. Black Wall Street, one of the things that made Black Wall Street successful was that a dollar changed hands at least 7 or 8 times within the community before it left the community. That's the essence of how you keep money in the community and help all of us grow and benefit off that same dollar. And it's a model that you see within immigrant communities to this day and within the Jewish community in the United States. And it's something that I think that we can continue to do now when it comes to opportunities is just, play ping pong with an opportunity. If you can't do it, pass it to another sister. If she can't do it, let it pass to another one or bring another one in. So it's us looking out for each other. We don't we no longer need to wait for broader society to realize the error of their ways and give us a shot. We just take it and make our own table, like Madam C.J. Walker.
Absolutely. And um, one thing that's coming up for me, there's this quote that floats around social media about, your name is being spoken into a room that you haven't even entered in yet, right?
Mhm.
And so I think that brings another quote that's coming to my mind of say your name, right? Like if
Exactly.
the opportunity is not for you, say her name, say who it is that you're thinking of, and I'm probably going to circle right back over the personal branding. Like that's why you need to know who are you going to serve, right? Leah wouldn't know that I am also in the travel industry if I did not say I've traveled here and I've
Mhm.
stayed and lived here, right? So be able to run to your own horn, tell your story, so that that other woman can say your name in rooms that you haven't entered in yet. So yeah,
Exactly. And I do think a lot of it is just, it starts with doing the self work. So, like you said, you have to say your own name and claim it, toot your own horn. You know what your value is, you know what you bring to the table, but it's not always apparent to other people on the outside. You have to show and tell. So, tell your story and show them who you are. And once they see who you are and what you've got, you've created that opportunity. That's what it takes. An entrepreneur kind of has to be in every person. You have to be your own marketer, you have to be your own brand manager, you have to be your money person. You have all the, the numbers, the concept. And a lot of that comes with, you got to be willing to just blast that, say it out. Because I think one of the things that I've seen amongst a lot of women of color and female entrepreneurs is that this is an area that we struggle with. We're always told to be quiet, stay on the sidelines, just be supportive, and kind of we just keep our heads down and do the work. But that's not how you're going to succeed. You have to overcome that and be willing to be the loud voice in the room, be the voice that they didn't know they needed to hear until you spoke up, and then take what's yours.
I think that's a great mic drop right there. Speak up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. What other takeaways would you want to share? Actually, no. I think there's one more question bubbling up. So, what is one thing that your mother told you? One thing, just the first thing that comes to your mind that your mother told you that kind of stays with you today when it comes to entering those rooms, speaking up, shooting your own horn, things on that line.
So, as cliche as it might sound, my mom is always like, there's only one you. And if you don't speak up, you might be the person with the solution. You might be the person who has the answer to the problem that everyone is looking for a solution to. And if you don't speak up, then it'll never be realized, and then the people will continue to go on. So there's only one you. There's only, you are the only person who can bring forth your vision, and so you need to claim that and name that, speak about it, storytell it, um, and bring it. Bring what you got and bring who you are, all of you, to these rooms and these tables, because you are you and nobody else is that, and nobody else can do what you do, and nobody else is you. So embrace yourself and let people know how wonderful you are.
Absolutely.
What
So,
about you? What's one
yeah,
lesson that your mom told you?
I'm thinking it's the one thing that's coming up for me is also because I kind of fall into the marginalized category of being differently abled. So, I think advocate for yourself, especially thinking about probably one of our future topics of Black maternal health and the mortality rates. Just really
Mhm.
advocate for yourself. You are your best advocate, and you know your body better than anyone else. You know yourself better than anyone else. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
yes,
And
okay,
no one can speak up for you better than you can speak for yourself.
yes, absolutely.
So
Hmm.
you definitely need to make sure you do that.
Yes, okay. So now we can go around and share our takeaways of today. What was your favorite? My favorite quote. You just said it. I feel like that was a mic drop, and probably everyone related to it too. Uh, you tell your story first. You are your brand first. I mean, you say it in those ways, but that's what you said. That you tell your story first. You are your story first because you never know you could be the solution to someone's problem.
Yes. And I agree with that. And I said that too. And the other thing that I'll add on as my takeaway too is that, we still are pioneer women. There are still so many of us that have so much to offer, and we still continue to play small, and we still continue to dim our own lights. So there's enough people in this world who don't want to see us succeed. Don't let yourself become an obstacle to your own success. Just embrace who you are and step into who you are and take what you want and take what's yours.
There we go. And there you have it. So you should have watched it on YouTube
Yes.
at the
Link
Majestic View.
below.
Majestic View Show. Let us know what your takeaways are. We will be checking the captions in the comments.
Mhm.
But also send us an email at themajesticviewshow@gmail.com. One, to be featured as a guest. And two, to also say hello. We all of us, it's a collaborative effort over here. So all of us are actually going to
Mhm.
be social, or you can check us out individually on social media at I am at Illuminous1, ILLUMINOUSONE, which is actually what my first name Zaakirah means. Illuminous one, bright light.
Mhm.
And Leah, where can people find you on social?
They can find me across the board at Leah World Traveler, even though I am transitioning on Instagram to the real Leah Miller. But for now, you can still find me at Leah World Traveler across all social media, and I do respond. So feel free to send me a message if you have a question for me, or if you want to work with me once you've looked at my stuff. And you can also reach all of us at our Majestic View email at gmail.com. About any questions, any topics you'd like us to cover, if you'd like to come on as a guest, or if there's anybody you think should be a guest that we should reach out to, we welcome that. The show is really open, and we really are about what we say in terms of creating a platform and a space to amplify the voices of other women. We are trying to create our own community as well, and create opportunities for ourselves and others. So please don't hesitate to join us and encourage other people to participate in what we got going on.
Absolutely. And so with that being said, I'm Zaakirah Muhammad with the Majestic View from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And I am Leah World Traveler with the Majestic View from Jamestown, Rhode Island.